So Team Lokah's interview with Anupama Chopra for the Hollywood Reporter India, and we have a really good combo. We got the producer, we got the actress, we got the director. So we'll get a lot of insights, which I'm looking forward to. If you haven't seen the interview, I'll put the link description. Check it out there. This is a reaction or a substitute. I'm sure this interview will talk about the budget and how they pulled off and how Bollywood cannot do that. Something we talked about at the round table. Just plugging that in. Now I made a video talking about why Lokah became so successful. What are the reasons behind it? Definitely check it out on the main channel. And without any delay, let's check it out.
Dominic, Kalyani, Dulquer,
Very interesting setup.
Reporter India.
I'm guessing she went to Kochi. I saw a picture of her on social media. So it's some restaurant, I guess.
Thank you.
Congratulations on Lokah. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed this film. I watched it on day 2 in Mumbai, and the hall was almost full. And at the end of it, people just started clapping. Okay, just spontaneous applause, which is so rare and so wonderful. And it's exactly why we go to the theaters. So I want to just begin by asking you what the last few weeks have been like. How are you processing Blockbuster success? The last figure I heard was 220 crores.
I don't know.
216 now, I think.
How vulgar.
I love that. Indeed. But how are you all sort of just looking at the way this very ambitious punt that the three of you took and your whole team took actually landed? Tell me.
It's been crazy the last couple of weeks because we were never expecting something like this. We were all
They are trying to hide it now.
sure that we did a good film, but the kind of response that has been coming, it's been really crazy. I mean, I don't know. I took a lot of time for us to process. Still we are in the phase of processing.
In fact, I was telling him today.
We were just talking about it.
Our imposter syndrome, or what is it? Because it's surreal.
It's surreal. It's been so crazy. I mean, the kind of rewatch messages that we get. I mean, okay, once or twice is okay. I've got messages that saying people have watched it for more than 5 times.
Wow.
So
only 3 times here. I'm very behind.
It's a filmmaker's dream that your film gets rewatched and they pick up small details from that and text you those or send you screen grabs. But yeah, when it's happening, it's like, oh, dude, this is happening. So it's like kind of crazy for me right now, yeah.
Is this also a producer's dream?
Absolutely, isn't we?
I just realized the sunlight is on Kalyani and she should not be able to bear it, right?
This is our 7th film that we produced.
And it's just falling on her.
And I don't think anything's been like this. We've kind of landed safe, but nothing's really been. Maybe corrupt a little bit during that post-COVID time, but nothing like this. This is unprecedented. Forget as a producer. I think even as an actor, none of my films have done like blown up like this, which is so widely accepted.
I think his Telugu films kind of have maybe not the same number. But I think both Lucky Bhaskar, Sitaramam like kind of became big sensation considering the budget and how they were not supposed to be the big films when they still ended up doing that.
Cross demographics, which is like so now a part of pop culture, it's everyone's referring to it. And so that I think that is the exciting part. We as production, we were even thinking we might lose something on this film. We were like, okay, maybe the first film we lose. Okay, what's the most we lose? So this is our calculation.
Those were the ideas, like you
initially,
had.
Because we're like, it's a good film, but we didn't understand the sort of calculations behind it because for the budget, and it's not like any of the buyers got really excited about buying the film. So we're like, okay, maybe the first film might take a hit, but hopefully if the franchise is established, we'll do better on the coming chapters.
Now there's a lot of pressure moving ahead because the way the first one has done.
But day 1, and like you watched in Bombay on day 2, day 1 I was seeing reviews from all over the country, which I mean I think in itself speaks volumes about Malayalam and just Indian cinema in general, that people all over the country will go on release day and give a film a chance and immediately talk about it, review it, make reels about it. So I found that, like it generally made me happy. I was excited about it. But then I didn't quite process the sheer enormity of it. Like I think it just, the way it blew up, I think all of us were kind of in disbelief We were like, oh, wait a minute.
He's still in disbelief. The way he's talking, you could sense from his voice that he's still unable to process what he's actually saying.
Now, what do we do for the next chapter?
Yeah, no pressure.
So, yeah.
Okay, there's lots of things that I find amazing about what has just happened, right? And tell me if I'm getting this right. This is what I've understood about the origin story of the movie, that you had this idea in your head that, we create a superhero out of folklore, which is the Yakshi story, the Neeli story, which is very, very popular in Kerala. But it was a small budget, single, sort of independent standalone film, right? You go to Dulquer and you say, let's expand this. Let's make a universe out of this. Correct?
I feel like, they'd obviously pitched it to other producers and stuff, and I think there was these ideas of maybe we can explore. But I think it was a tough pitch for them, starting with Neeli, and that's the script that they were going with. So I don't know if many people got that. I think what excited me was, I love the fact that it was a girl superhero. I'm like, hey, that's a good way to pitch a film. we have an interesting way. It's a clutter breaker. Like it's an interesting way to at least, because now superheroes have been done, so at least we can maybe come out saying we're the first, girl superhero.
I think that something what I pointed out in the video on the main channel, that this is how you have to think, right? You have to think different. You have to. It's like, as they said, right? They must have gone to different producers. Why would you start saying, "Oh, female-led film, no one would make it"? There's no precedence for that. So you would go for, okay, I'll make first a male hero film and then maybe we'll tell this story. Like, no, they still went with their gut. Okay, we want to make this. This is the story. And they got rejected, and finally they found someone who actually this is better than doing the stuff which has already been done so many times. That's the kind of thinking, that's one of the sign you have to look at and understand and incorporate in the way of you thinking you need for making films like this.
And all of these characters, all of the so-called superheroes in the universe, is so known to all of us, and that was already, I think, in their minds, and they were like, hey, if this works, then we could maybe create a universe out of this. So I think at that point I was like, no, then we should probably set it up.
Yeah, good idea.
With that plan in mind, because unless we commit, the audience won't believe that we will come out with subsequent chapters.
And that's something that's happening now, right? Because everyone, they do one thing and then by the end everyone wants to create a universe. They just announce too many things and then the films don't work out and like everything is in limbo, right? Will you ever do that, or you just said it just for the sake of it? So for them to actually commit that, no, we'll make it a big part of the narrative we are telling and not just a tag along, oh, there's more you'll find in future. No, they have made us invested already in every character in the world, and we cannot wait what follows next.
We do a kind of, not half-baked, but like a budgeted origin story of just Neeli in a smaller, and then you say, oh wait, chapter 2 we'll come up with something. I don't know how much they'll buy that. So I was like, then if we're doing this, we go all out and we'll try and create, at least we'll make them believe that we are going to come out. So then we started exploring that more, and this is, I think, 22 or something.
22, 23.
Yeah, and then we're like, wait, we don't fully know what the whole universe can be. So I think then they started sitting on fleshing that out.
But Dulquer, the easiest thing for you as a producer would be to say that, sure, we'll do the Chandra story, but let's begin with my character because it's also commercially more viable. Did that thought even cross your mind?
I actually, my whole goal with Wayfarer Films was to kind of, which is why the company doesn't have my name attached to it. I kind of want it to be a standalone entity. And I wanted to stand for, I'm super greedy about movies. So I want to have a great filmography of my own. And I want the company also to have a great filmography of its own, with or without me. So I think, for me, that is more exciting.
Again, something like to look forward. This is the mindset you need. Like, you cannot be so, it has to be about cinema, it has to be about making films what you love, your passion, not about making my name, Dulquer Salmaan, movies or films. Or I don't against people who have their production house with their own name. I don't mind that at all, but it's just the mindset I'm talking about.
Then me producing my own superhero movie, it's a bit. It's a bit yeah, exactly. Right? I'm like, and typically if that is pitched to me, that'll be my reaction. I'm like, I know. So like even this cameo, like I fought to them for it. I was like, you guys should be able to make it, without me having to do anything.
Are you kidding? Yeah. We just saw that hair and started screaming, okay? Really,
but they can't be like, they can't be. Initially, it's only the eye. So I was like, okay, so I just come in for like half an hour and I go, I'm done. And they're like, no, we actually want to explore a little more.
But I also, both of you said in interviews that at different times you've said to both of you that don't worry about the money, right? We'll make that in subsequent films. Just let's make a good film. I mean, to me, the enlightened producer is such a thing of beauty, right? How did this free you up as an artist to really go where you wanted to with Lokah?
Like I said, initially this was a very small budgeted. I mean, we thought of it as an independent film. We'll make an independent action superhero film.
I love that.
Yeah, so that was the initial idea. But when me and Nimish, we went to Dulquer and we spoke to him about it, he said that we could make it a bigger film. Let it be a bigger film. Don't bother that it's a female-centric film. Let's just make the film you want to make. See, if you ask me, I want to make a big film. Definitely we'll go for a bigger film, which is visually appealing and it's all there. But considering the industry standards and since it's a female-centric film, we thought let's just make it constrained. We'll work within our constraints and we'll do what we can do best. We've still done that. Whatever we've done is still that. But still, he opened up our minds so that we could visualize a little more. What do you say? Ambitiously, yeah. So that's what happened here. And even when he says that don't care about the money, we know that we have to get the money back for the producer. So that pressure is always there.
Yeah.
Even if he says that you want a producer to get back the money. So that pressure has been there. But that keeps you going. I think we should have that pressure. That pressure keeps everybody on their toes. And
I believe in that. Like especially for bigger films, even like if you're taking someone else's money, right? Like doesn't matter what kind of film you're making. Is it a big film, commercial film, very independent, small film, personal film? You have to, respect the money you are getting to do it, and you have to make sure that it is not. You cannot make sure. Maybe the film doesn't work. The film doesn't make money, but you have to make an attempt that it makes money, and it doesn't matter what you have to do for it. You have to sacrifice your vision and this and that. Maybe people do that, and it doesn't work out. But then if you don't believe in your vision, then you will sacrifice it. So you have to find way to make sure the producer makes the money back. That is your responsibility. It's not that, I made a film, now you market it and you promote it and you do whatever to make it work. That's not it. I think the director's job is that too, that the film should reach to the audiences.
Towards what they want to achieve. So, yeah, that's it.
Kalyani, I read that you are the first female actor in the 4 South industries to have a 200 crore film.
I mean, if your facts are right, then I guess I have not done
wonderful.
The research. But
that's so amazing. I want you to tell me a little bit about the conversations you had with Dominic about finding a way into her, right? Because she's such a specific mix of sadness and strength. And you have
the point that image and her sitting there, they just feel like two different people. That tells you how good the performance was.
You have both. She's lonely, she's vulnerable, but she's also phenomenally strong. She's lived for so long. There is such weight on her soul, almost. How did you find your way in, and what were the questions you asked him?
I mean, this was one of those experiences for me that when an actor does something that's so different from who they are, and when there's some appreciation that comes for that, that's when you feel your best or you feel the happiest. And the process for this was very much like that. I remember I had to unlearn a lot of my own naturalism for the character, and from the very beginning Dominic was like, this is not the you that we're used to, this is not the Kalyani that everyone's seen before. He was very sure that there needed to be a certain kind of maturity to the role, and at the same time he said she's so emotionally numb. She's had so many masks. She's carried different identities through time that there's some part of her that she's lost, and she's a very detached person, right? And so I even remember I was so insecure about this character that I even called Dulquer up. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. It feels so unnatural to me. And he's like,
Hey, I know what you're talking about.
He's like,
I know what that feels
and
like.
I remember him telling me, he's like, are you happy with everything? You've lost judgment about yourself, but are you happy with everything around you that's happening? Like, do you feel like Dominic's taking the right call for everything? I'm like, everybody else is bang on. And so he's like, then I'm sure he's bang on about you as well. And I think that was where my initial hesitation was. And
That's a really good advice, and I think that's what he learned also through his process, his experience. That I think sometimes we just overthink, and I'm also the person that I just overthink, and then suddenly you have to kind of detach yourself, come out of the situation, look at a third POV, and see what's really going on, and that just makes you have a clear head of what's happening, and you can make the judgment much better. I think sometimes we just get too involved of ourselves in the situation, and we don't just think, oh, it's just go back, look at it, and it will work out better.
then at that point, I completely surrendered to him.
At what point did you have this conversation? How many days?
Quite early.
Yeah, very early. About 4 or 5 days into shooting, I came back thinking, I can't do this. I remember coming because everything felt so unnatural to me that I was like, oh my God, how are people going to take this? And then that's when I had
You
this
mean
call
her
with him.
stillness?
Yes, it's her. Ma'am, you can see me. I talk with my hands. I shake. I blink 10 times in a conversation. He's like, I don't want any of that. He's like, you play a character that's hundreds of years old. He's like, you need to move that way. So
I think her fear was she felt like she's not doing anything.
yeah,
Not enough.
Yeah.
So,
Like there have been such comments I've seen that, oh, what for performance, she didn't do anything. That was the whole point. She didn't have to do anything. She had to be like that, and that is also performance. It's not that just camera, you're not doing much, that means you're not doing anything. You are doing a lot. She has to control herself, what she is like, and stop all of that and to act like she's someone else. That is acting.
actors, we are trying to, be alive and use body and hands.
yeah, I'm like, I can't even lean on something. My dad's always said, use everything around you to make something more natural. And I'm there having to float through time and space.
I remember that time calling Dominic and Nimish and being like, just ease her into it. So, go 3-4 takes.
No, but
2 for you guys, 2 for her. Let her feel like she's done her way of doing it.
yeah, no, but
Take yours,
it was
and
the
be
most
fine.
rewarding part of the process. Like, honest to God, thank you.
Are you very strict about your vision, or are you fairly
See, for
collaborative?
Chandra specifically, I've been traveling with Chandra for a long time now. So I knew how she would eat, she would walk, she would sit, she would sleep. So I had this very specific thing in my mind. I wanted her to do exactly that. I have given freedom to every other actor, I believe, on set, except her. Because I had a very lot of specific set of things that even when she walks, the tempo of her walk, I had given her music references to actually listen to. That is a pace. That's what I gave her. So with Chandra, I was really specific. Not with the others because the boys were. They were free to do anything.
Yeah,
they
he was
want.
like, just have fun, guys. You.
I'm just because now again doing self promotion, but I did this interviews and I was part of the roundtable, so I was just thinking in my head, how could the cameras be placed so it works better? Like I think this close up and the wide angle is just kind of a same shot only, so it's kind of, I could have been more dynamic. Maybe they didn't have space around it. That's because it's not a studio, it's a real location, so maybe that's the case. But I was just my mind just thinking about it.
What I loved about the movie was how it blends so many things, right? You're of course making a superhero comic book movie, the colors are popping, but you're rooting it in very sort of realistic,
Yep.
if not textures, then at least things, right? So she's a superhero, but she needs to work. She needs to mop the floor. The kind of thing that any single woman living alone in a city would have to do. But what I love most of all was you have all of this action, and of course it's vampires, there's blood gushing everywhere, but it's so funny. Right? It was so funny. Sunny, the Naslan character, and his roommates, and the cat that the ex-girlfriend gives back, and that one man
That's at the
who's
tone
just
very quickly.
yeah, and that one guy who's just lying behind. He's just in the scene. zoned out. How did you find that sort of balance of, okay, we need to make it an entertainer, but also what works is the fact that she's melancholic, that she's sad, and you have Shanti Balachandran, who's been credited for dramaturgy. So what were those conversations of what's the secret sauce?
I don't know, but what we were thinking was, see, we're going to tell Chandra's story, but it should be through these boys. We are going to enter this world through them.
Because they're us.
They're us.
Yeah.
So let's make them as fun as possible, so that when it's humor, you always enjoy it and you get into the.
I was just thinking, that now I don't think the next film can be like that, structured like that. That slowly we get some other characters who've witnessed Chatan's character, and then we build up and finally climb. I think it has to, like, the format has to change a bit, because now we know what all happening, and going back to that simpleness in a sense would make it, maybe I'm wrong also, but I would assume that it would make it, like, boring. And here, even they showed at the start some big action sequence in a sense, and then we get the animation sequence, then we get the title, then we get the whole history of this world. But when we get back to the story, it's still, you are not feeling, I want to get to know what all that's happening, who's she, like, we still are unclear what's going on. So we are okay to spend time with the character, then we find out these kids, these bachelors, and we revolve the story around them, and we are still engaged in that, which is actually well done. And then we get into all the superhero stuff, the stakes goes higher, and then it just goes over, right? And now we want to see what's going to happen next. And now again from there we cannot come back to again a simple story where we find out about Chat slowly, some other characters reveal. Like, that format cannot work again. I feel that.
Film as quickly as possible. So that was the only idea that I had, and I've been the biggest fan of a dad. So humor is what I enjoy the most when I'm writing as well. I think I'm good with lines, so I come up with these small things that can actually tickle.
But I think Priyadarshan humor is quite different in that sense that it's written or it's performed where the purpose is to create comedy out of it, whereas here it's more of the character speaks like that. It's a situational comedy. It's just some things happen, or just Naslin falling down. That's humor. That's visual humor. The way it's edited, the way the sound comes in, it's silence, a product. That's humor. That's not Naslin doing something very comedic just to make us laugh. That's not happening there.
Little bit. So I think it was just the portal to the world was through these boys. So that is the only thing that we have actually been careful about. And with Shanti on board, it was we are going to give a film with the protagonist as a woman. So see how hard I try, I won't be able to bring that to the table. So we needed somebody like Shanti on board to actually have that. See, if you call it a feminist angle, or that line should be proper. I wanted that to be perfect. So that's when Shanti came on board, and she's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
That's what she does. Yeah, small things like there is a scene where Sunny Sunny wakes up in her apartment and she's going to leave. He wants to leave. And she asks him, like, why were you following me? He's like, I saw them kidnap you, so I actually wanted to save you. So this save you is, and she responds like me. So it's I just wrote it. I didn't have any thought behind that. It was just written for the humor. But Shanti brought in that there is this element of a woman doesn't need saving in those lines. That needs to be proper. So I had to rewrite those lines in a way that comes out. So yeah, like that, small details. He's also worked with costume department, art department, with small what do you say? Detailing. A lot of detailing was from our side.
And that's not to say that, that's not to say that she was great only for the feminist angle. She's literally, like he said, he's worked with everything. Small detailing that even the men would have left out, she was very specific about. She's like, this Chinese symbol has one small comma that's wrong. And we're like, oh, okay. And she's refusing to let us take the shot until that's fixed.
Correct.
So
I know the white sari thing that where the villain's introduction, she's wearing a white sari which is like a Easter egg or a reference to Yakshi is wearing white sari in the TV show or the past, how she is known as, and how she was not wearing white sari and she made sure that she is wearing white sari.
Yeah.
And was she also the one who decided on that killer white dress?
No, the white dress was part of the screenplay.
Really?
Because I wanted something to actually represent the
Neeli.
Neeli.
Yeah,
Neeli
she's
or Yakshi.
always-
Yakshi is always in white.
synonymous
Yeah.
with white dresses.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a white sari usually.
Yeah, it's a white sari.
Oh,
That's
actually
it.
comes
so it
from
goes
white.
back to that.
Yeah.
Okay, which of course people like us would not know.
That's
But,
for-
That's the homage.
so and it's launched a million memes now.
Yeah.
One entrance in that doorway, in that
Also,
white.
I feel like all that hair color, like everybody's like going red.
Yeah.
I'm seeing
And the
so.
septum ring, I did not expect that because I thought that would make her even more unrelatable. And so I was initially like, guys, are we sure we want the septum ring? They were like, very sure we want it. And now everyone's like, wow, that septum ring just really works.
Yeah,
So
yeah, she just looks so badass. We all want to be like her. But Dominic, tell me also about the decision to make the villain this man who's just fueled by toxic masculinity. How did you arrive at? And my God, Nachiappa is just awful, right? And I love that little moment where he almost can't bring himself to salute his superior because the boss is a woman. How did you say that, okay, this is what we're going to talk about?
I wanted the antagonist to be a policeman who has control. I mean, generally when
Authority.
you are out in the public at night, you see a cop, you just I don't know, for some reason we get scared. So that's what I wanted to pick up. If he's a cop, you're scared of cops at night. I don't know why, but that happens. So let's make Nachiappa a police officer who has a certain amount of power with him, but he's still under a lot of other people who has control over him. So this guy needs power. He's I mean, what do you say?
He desires it, and that adds to him when he actually gets it. What he really thinks, that God complex comes in.
He's itching to get that power and take over the world kind of guy. So that was the only thought I had initially while writing Nachiappa, and the additions that came on were from Shanti. Small details that the salute thing and stuff like that came from Shanti. So yeah, I just write. I don't know. I don't think I have no formula for writing. I've not learned screenwriting. I don't follow Sigfield. I just take paper and just keep on writing.
Your handwriting?
No,
Your
first draft I do with I handwrite, then I go to the laptop.
Really?
Yeah.
You handwrite the first draft?
Yeah, first draft.
How long is usually the first draft?
It takes around 2 months.
And just in terms of pages?
Pages.
The pages, I think it comes to around 150, 100 pages.
And you're handwriting all of this?
Yeah.
Well,
the
it
first
just
draft.
feels-
Yeah, it feels.
I think a lot of writers do it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So I'm not. It's quite common.
I've forgotten how to write.
I write like a doctor. Autographs, people are like,
If you want to see my writing, but again, you have to let me off because it's a digital thing. But check it out. My whole spoiler breakdown, scene by scene breakdown, look on the main channel.
so photo.
Dulquer, tell me, as a producer, how hands-on are you? Like, are you somebody who would be on the sets? Would you give creative inputs? Or do you feel like you've empowered, you've enabled, and you step aside?
I think it varies film to film.
On this one?
On this one, I was very hands off. As in, I would, even now, I think even going forward, that's how I'd like to be. Like, I would like to be the objective sort of angle to this writing team or the direction team. Because they're going to be sitting on it, they're going to be attached to it, they're going to be living with it for like months or whatever. I would like to come in only when they have something which they feel is more or less there or more or less bound. Because at least I will have some objectivity, but I'm not so attached to it, or I don't know this journey of arriving at these things. And I think that's helped throughout this film. I've come to set twice, I think. Once or
No
twice.
way.
When was the second time?
When he came for the camera.
Yes. Of the two times, one.
He was in the film, Kalyani.
The second time
That
was for
wasn't him visiting set.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't visiting. And even edit, I only watched it like twice. And I've had so many of my productions where I would be micromanaging everything. I would be sitting on every, especially edit and like writing. I'm there a lot, but for some reason for me, I was like, I just felt like these guys know what they're doing. Also, like Nimish and Bangla and all of them, whenever they come together, I feel like I'm very sure of the world building that they do. Nimish and Bangla together, any of my films, most of my period stuff has been them, and I fully submit to their vision of world building. And from when Dom narrated the story to me, I didn't find any major issues in terms of structure or anything like that. And it's charming, it's sweet. I don't know if I'm the best judge of humor. I always find humor a little difficult to judge because you don't know what the audience is used to hearing, what's now popular, because it's so
it
quick.
changes,
It keeps changing, and so that stuff I'll always leave it to them. But again, hats off to our actors. I think if Nasrin and Chandu and Arun deliver any line, even if you've heard it 10 times, I think they just bring their own charm, own angle to it.
Again, right casting.
It's just genuinely like adorable. So when I kind of saw the first edit, I was pretty happy in the sense I was like, guys, viewers, I have nothing where I feel like, oh, this should go, that should, something needs to breathe, or this is to nothing. Like I was just like, if you want, you can just scene trim and maybe make a little tighter. But I personally don't think there's anything that I would change, and I don't think we shaved much from that.
No, I think
From the one I saw to the, I don't think there's much of a change. But what excited me was, I mean, I was busy with my own films, so I didn't see the final.
I want to know if there were some disagreements. Like that's always fun to see how different POVs were there and what they finally ended up doing.
Animation and all that till in the cinema.
No.
Yeah, so like even like censor cuts is my team that's watching it. My sister's now kind of closely working with us, so she watched it. She's like, "Oh my god, you should watch the animation." I was like, "Oh, I don't have time." So I was like, "You know what? I'm going to watch it in cinemas." So and then I was like, "Oh, okay, now this is awesome," which is great because at some point I also get to watch our film as a viewer. Like, I mean, I know a lot about it. I'm invested, but somewhere I was like, there is that last 10% that maybe I just disconnect from. But I want to watch it like a viewer. And I had that amazing theatrical experience.
Yeah, but Dulquer, this film is also one of the other things you're blending is that sense of melancholy, right? Which the protagonist has inside of her, her vulnerability, her loneliness, that sort of idea of the burden of immortality, and how heavy.
I like that they touch on that, in the film. Like there are small brief moments where they kind of touch on it.
It weighs. I mean, none of us want to die, but this film is asking us to consider what it's like to not die, right? And yet it must work as an entertaining blockbuster. So did you guys have any conversations about, okay, how sad can we make it? How heavy can we go?
I kind of like the fact that every time it would get a little heavy, they'd diffuse it.
Yeah.
And I've always liked that as a device in film.
Is that a Malayali thing?
I don't know. I mean, there's movies
Marvel
that
does
we've
it
seen,
a lot.
Even internationally. But like, whenever they did that, I always thought that's a smart thing to do because it's not like you're taking away from the moment, but you are helping the viewer kind of transition to the next scene, or they've absorbed the moment. But hey, life goes on. Let's have a laugh about it.
Yeah.
And that's there throughout the film till the very end.
Thank you, Tovino.
Yeah, and I love that about it. So I was like, okay, it's not a film that is taking itself too seriously. And even though she lives on forever, she still there's this lightness in her being, in her life, the way she chooses to lead her life. So I think all of that gave me. I was like, okay, there's something that they know about entertaining. Let's say, like we can't be so consumed where the film doesn't become entertaining.
Correct.
It cannot be just a story we're telling, and it's a hard watch, it's a heavy watch.
Yeah. Shanti said that this was one of the most collaborative sets she's ever been on.
I second that. Yeah.
So tell me how that happens. Is it organic? Dom, as the leader of the pack, is it something you intentionally wanted to create because it was such an ambitious,
I always believe that cinema is a very collaborative effort. It's not a one-man job anyway. So there is only so and so things I know about how to make a film. Then comes the expertise of Nimish. Then comes Banglan, the art director Jitu, makeup Ronix, the costumes by Archana and Melvi. So you just need to get the best out of them. That's the only way I know how to make a good film. So when you have the best technicians in the state working with you, and they all believed this to be their own film, they poured in their heart to the film. So I'm a nice person, so I don't know if they'll like me or something.
He's just he's saying it himself.
So I just try to keep the set happy. Yeah. I don't shout at people. I'm not angry. I'm never angry.
No, he's
never been angry.
Never.
I'm always happy. Yeah. I just try to
That's
keep
great.
everybody calm and cool.
You're happy under stress even.
Yeah, I don't show that. Do I show? No, I don't show that.
He's
I
always
am
cracking
stressful. I'm
jokes.
always stressed, but yeah, I don't show that. So I think it's that happy space that everybody was so happy to be in. They put in their 100%, maybe more than 100%.
I just have one thing to say. So the last bit was the mix, right? So, and this has happened every step of the process, but just to tell you how every department's worked on this, Raja Krishnan, he did the mix for our film, and Rajetan saw
Again, something I mentioned in the video I made, that they always talk about the team and the people they're working with and how amazing it was, and everyone did their job so well, and it's not just about what they did.
that last, he watched everything, and immediately he called me up and he's like, he calls me Ammo, but he's like, I don't know what you guys have done. It's out of this world, but I promise you, mine is the last thing that is going into this, and I will give everything that I have for to bring justice to what you guys have done. And this happened to every department head at every part of the process. And I think that's honestly to do with Dom's vision. But the fact that every person felt that and did that is why the film has become what it's become, in my opinion.
Raja sir likes me a lot.
He doesn't have to, okay?
But there was literally no egos on this film. And I've faced that as a producer many times, I've faced it as an actor many times, where people's egos get in the way of the film, right? I've worked with people who, to be right or to have it their way, might do the opposite of a general suggestion, where anyone on the film might see something differently and suggest something. And if you are going to do the opposite just to be right, then it's no longer about the film.
Yeah.
And there's been so many
The film has to be the first thing and only thing that should matter. Again, a point I made in the video.
instances of that. Maybe that's another reason why I was so hands off on this film, because the energies were so good, were so positive. Everyone were just happy to be doing what they were doing and excited and wanting to tell this story to the best of their ability. So even to my team, I was like, guys, just give them what they want. I don't think you should worry about. I don't see them faffing or wasting our time, energy, money in any which way. I feel like they're just really passionate young team and they want to make something. So like, if we can't be a part of this and push that and make it happen, then I don't know which other film will do this on. So, but this is the one.
So, Dulquer, you've said that you're going to share the profits.
Sure, I was always a part of.
I actually saw this report and I was like, wait, I need to hear it officially somewhere, because a lot of rumors happen nowadays that someone just makes it up and then everyone just shares it as if it's real. So thank for finally hearing it officially, and that's amazing.
This is something that I always wanted to do, where when films do extremely well, that people should be rewarded. And also I like my key HODs and all being stakeholders in the film. So like Dom, Nim are all like stakeholders in the film, because I just feel like then it becomes their own film. There again, I can step back a little bit on micromanaging, because they also do care about the cost of the film.
Everyone's invested.
Everyone's invested.
Yeah.
And I believe this works well. But I mean, obviously in the press meet, when they said, will you be sharing? And I said, yes, so I will be sharing, but doesn't mean. I also, for the company, it'll be great when we have a bit of a war chest and not have interest burden, and then we can invest into our own films. That is obviously the goal. So yeah, I mean, I would be really silly if I gave you all this, and again I'm going and taking.
You've got 4 more films to make.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that's what you meant. You'll put it back into the rest of the films.
yeah.
That's, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do.
She's
I do
giving you
believe
a dirty
in,
look. She's like, what are you saying?
But I do believe in them being invested in this. I think that's a great model.
You know what I am interested in to know the logistical, logistics of how that will happen. Like, how will he share? Will it be like a percentage? Like they'll consider the percentage of everyone who was paid for the film and what percentage that adds up to, and that percentage of profit will, like, I want to know the math. I'm very, I find it very interesting to know all this stuff.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the next four.
Why don't you talk about that?
So, Dom, in my head, when you're building a universe, and this is my fantasy of how a filmmaker builds a universe. Like there's some big chart or blackboard, and you're just sort of charting out plots and moving characters. Is that how it happens?
No, we have an idea of the whole picture. Yeah, we have a
You have a Bible.
Yeah.
For the next four as well.
It's not the next four. It's actually how everything started. It's the origin that we have. How
Okay.
if we have seen Neely's origin story. We have every origin story and what has happened over the past 10,000 years or something that we have
I love
laid
that.
out, and we need to connect it to the present thing. We know how this is going to end. What are the main plots that will happen in the upcoming films? But we are yet to work on the screenplays for all the four. We just have a vague idea of everything that's going to happen. We are specific that this and this is going to happen, but how it's going to happen, we need to sketch that out.
So you've
That's why I guess then it will gonna take another 2.5 years for the next movie to come out. Then
got like the major
Yeah.
beats, would
Yeah,
you
yeah,
say,
yeah, exactly.
of this? But when you have a blockbuster, it is a double-edged sword, right? Because now is where it gets really tricky because we want more of the same, but we also want it different.
the pressure.
Do you think you'll change any of your decisions? How does this impact on your creativity?
No, I find this a very exciting time because I've been reading a lot of fan theories that have been coming on YouTube and on the internet, and most of them, I think they've cracked a lot of stuff.
Don't say that.
No, but it's not all right. It's not all correct. But yeah, few
But I mean,
things.
what they are cracking is kind of what you put out there.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they're.
So they're extrapolating
Correct.
from
Yeah.
there,
Even
right?
if whatever
Yeah.
subtle.
Yeah.
That means they have done a good job. That people are not going on, time travel.
Wanted them to crack
imagery
it.
or anything that's been put out there, they're able to read into it.
Yeah.
Correct.
I think. I heard you mention this in an interview also, where I was so excited for the fact that they're catching on to these things, like the stuff that we have planted there in the backdrop or in like an animation. They are making some sense of it and they're putting it together, which is also exciting.
Yeah, because I think they are ready for even bigger stuff or maybe a little more to delve deeper into the world. So I think that's an exciting time for me to start writing the next chapter. It's for now. I'm just in that space right now. I'm not thinking too much about.
No, but I think even if them they're able to piece it together, it is kind of like knowing one of our epics, but they still don't know how we're going to interpret it or how we might position it or bring it into today's world, and where the characters are going to be set. And there's obviously a lot of discovery there for us also. So I don't think that knowing
Yeah,
that
but-
horizon
yeah,
is
so it doesn't
something that we need to hide. I think we only put it out there.
And what can you tell us about Muthon?
What can we tell about Muthu? No, it's exciting. As in,
It's out.
It will take us more convincing. I think. Because we've always been like, prove it to me. Like, okay, chapter 1 looks okay. Yeah, sure. It's like,
But he definitely
it's
feels
gonna
proud.
get better and bigger, and by the time, then maybe I'll say yes.
You think?
I don't know. He's the hardest person to convince.
Really? He's been proud so far.
He is, yeah.
He's been really proud so far, at least.
He's been
So
really
is your
excited.
dad. I mean, what a wonderful thing.
Absolutely, yeah. But I mean, I always like the idea of us having to earn it.
Nice.
It shouldn't be something that because we have access to him that.
You can't just walk in
Yeah, you
there
can't
on
be
break.
And that's good actually. I feel that even knowing Mammootty, how much I know this like fraction of it, that he would want it to be something special, and he's adding something, not just financially and the stardom, but just that he'll have have some fun playing the character. And I think the theory is that he is the villain, and he like. I have a theory that which I talked in my spoiler breakdown also, scene by scene breakdown. Definitely check it out. Something interesting I did there. But I feel like it could be maybe like he's he's the wrong guy or the antagonist, but he's doing it for the right reasons. Like, you know how Osmandius in come on, where not Westworld, what Watchmen. How in Watchmen that like he's actually the hero at the end, not the villain we thought. Like he's doing it for the greater good, not just for instant gratification.
Twist and say, Dad, I've got a script.
Yeah, it will really help.
Just say, please.
No, but he's really proud of the film, proud of all of us. And even he was, I don't think he expected this to. Her dad did not expect it at all.
Really? He was like,
I
what are
think they all
you
thought we were a
doing?
little, I don't know, mad. My dad was like very worried about the cost going up. Even her dad called me and said, "What were you thinking? How did you know? Why would you take this bet? Like, why would you didn't make a small film? You made a big film?" I said, "I don't know, sir. I just believe in the idea." And he's like, "I don't know. When I really thought, like, I was so worried. And he went on and on. I said, no. It's
That's so sweet.
They're very concerned about what we're up to, but I
But the
think,
crazy risks you guys are taking,
yeah,
huh?
but they're very proud now.
Yeah, very proud of.
I think now we have a little leeway to make the kind of movies.
Now you've earned it.
They're like, yeah, maybe you guys know what you're doing.
So,
It's kind of like the old generation, new generation. Like you know, take your time. Always parents say, right? Don't spend too much. You know, first figure it out. Make the money. You know, savings and like it's that only, right? Like they're like, how much you can spend so much. It's such a risk. Why would you do this? And now you see, oh, okay, maybe you guys are right. Maybe we just have this old thinking of, you know, first do how much, you know, चादर उतने ही ओढ़ो जितनी नहीं पैर उतने ही फैलाओ जितनी बड़ी चादर है, kind of a thing.
you, the next few years are the next 4.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
4.
You're like fully committed.
I don't know. The whole of the country seems to be like after him, so hopefully he doesn't get distracted.
No, I'm just focused on.
Of
Lokah.
course, now he'll get so many offers from other industries, or especially Bollywood will try to, you know, poach him.
Nothing else right now.
You're putting it out there. There is nothing else that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For now, yeah.
Kalyani, do you get to choose differently?
In what way, ma'am?
I mean, what you've just pulled off is incredible, right? And I know that there's not a lot of female actors in Hindi cinema as well who have this sort of success, you know? So what changes for you?
I mean, if anything, I think the one lesson that I've learned is that sometimes we make too many assumptions about the audience, and they will surprise you in many ways that you don't imagine. So that's good for me to understand that I can try new things. Some of them will fail, some of them will work, but at least I don't have to go in with the assumption that something's not going to work, or I can't go in with the assumption that this is going to work. The one thing that my dad has always said, and in fact, the first message he sent to me after the night that he found out what's happening with this film was, don't let success get to your head and don't let failure get to your heart. And he's always said this to me, but he was like, I need to send this to you as a message. And he keeps reminding me of this every day. So just need to make sure that I continue to grow as an actor somehow or the other. I hope I get the liberty to fail sometimes as well, because I think that's how we grow as actors. So I hope that my career is going to be that I get to tell different kinds of stories, fail sometimes, explore my range as an actor sometimes, but yeah.
Keep taking risks.
Yeah, exactly, hopefully.
And this Onam was that for her. If you look at like both the films that came out with her, totally different performance, different character, and that's a great mindset to have, right? And great parenting and advice.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, because sometimes success can do the opposite, right? It can make you insecure.
Yeah.
It can make you afraid.
It can
because
make
you
you-
want the high all the time.
Yeah. Also, it makes you really scared to take the next step sometimes. But
Yeah.
I think that
What
you just need to
next?
stop thinking about that and do it. And again, I hope I get the liberty to fail sometimes, because that's the only way I learn. Yeah.
Her dad is like, he's so adorable, right? So he's like, I don't know, she's doing all these action movies, and I think his concern is she's going to hurt herself.
That's my mom's concern. My dad's concern is, are you even capable of doing this? Like, he laughed. He was like, why are you doing things that you're not capable of doing?
So
Why?
she already did this like boxing thing in this movie, Anthony,
Yeah.
and now she's doing this. I don't know. This is like pre-release.
Yeah.
Even at our launch event.
Yeah.
Like, at the pre-release event, he's saying, like, I don't know what she's doing, and then this she's doing some fights, and she's a super.
I love that part of your job as producer is just to handle dad's voice. That's just fab. Dulquer, I have to ask you about Kantha because that's another
Oh
film
my
that
God.
looks
I cannot wait for this, and I understand why they pushed it, like, but okay. I hope this year only.
so fascinating. I'm hounding Rana about it, but now that I have you in front of me, do we have a release date?
It was initially supposed to be now, mid-September.
Yeah.
We didn't think Lokah is going to do what it did. So now I think we should wait, give this that time to breathe.
And that's a good decision, right? Not everyone will be able to do that. And I think that tells you the power he has over the films and that they can do something and they think like this, that let's not, sabotage the film which is actually doing well. Let's wait. Not that if it would have impacted because it's primarily a, Tamil Telugu market first and it could have actually, done really well, but they thought, okay, let's wait.
Not get in the way of things. But also, like, it's a film that's been so long in gestation. Like, I heard it first in 2019.
Wow.
So I've been living with this film for 6 years. And we as a team have been brainstorming it for so long and going back and forth. Because I think it's something very ambitious, something we never fully understood how to. It just did not feel like a typical film. Even the way we shot it. So now in edit, I feel like even you give us 2 extra days, we're finding something more. There's so much discovery on the film. So I'm just like, I don't know if I want to rush it. I'm like, maybe it's a film that needs this time in everything. So I think we're mostly there on edit. I think we're now cracking some music, but I'm excited about it.
It does look.
I mean, it'll be a clutter breaker.
Yeah.
Like how Lokah was.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
They're still editing and music. That means either they slowed down because the release date is changing, or it should have been out. So I guess they should have been done by now. I don't know.
2 more questions. One is what you got Tovino to do in this film, right? And he's part of his own superhero world, right? And again, that speaks to me about the Malayalam film industry. That he would do this, he would come in. Soban is there for 1 frame? And, when he came on screen, everyone just went crazy.
All over the country.
Yeah, just crazy, screaming. How do you keep these relationships that people are actually genuinely there for the art? And it's not about, but I'm also part of that film, and does this impact on Minal Murli in any way? Can I be Chatam? How do you do that?
Tovino has been a really close friend for a long time.
I feel like he was a part of this before even I came. As in,
Yeah.
I feel like if there was
Just a bouncing ball.
Yeah. I mean, they've actually Tovino's worked with both. Dom's first film was Tovino.
Yeah.
Nimish's first film was Tovino. And we go back as far back as my 3rd film, Tivam, or ABC series he's acted in. So I feel like he's always been there, in all these discussions. And what I love about Toby is that he just, I don't know, again, like I keep using this same word as greed. Like I don't want to take this away from him, but he genuinely wants to be a part of great films and wants to, support as many films as possible.
That has to be the drive. Otherwise, it will. The problem, what I feel like sometimes we say, like, oh, Malayalam cinema, what are they doing? They are doing, like, what is that? Like, what are they smoking? And I'm like, maybe they are actually doing the right way. They're not doing any illegal stuff. They're not doing anything out of the box. Of course, the stories are out of the box, but that is how movies are supposed to be told. That's how collaborative it has to be. You don't have to think about ego and marketing and perception and PR and no, that's nonsense. That's what everyone else is doing wrong. That's what Bollywood is going wrong. Bollywood is smoking something which is not able to tell good stories. They are doing the wrong stuff. They are not doing it the right way. That's the big problem. Malayalam is just doing it the right way. That's why it's working.
He was, I think, I mean, you had your doubts. I am producing, so I'm a little edgy. he was the most excited about
Yeah.
the film, the role, everything. Like he had no doubts ever. Like, and he's coming up with ideas. He's coming up, this is what I'm going to do for my look. Da-da-da. He's like, I'm traveling. I'm going to take this jacket with me. Maybe
He's like,
I can shoot something. I'm like, only he can do this. He's all heart and he's all, that energy that you see on screen is palpable whenever you hang out with him. And it's that love that he wants to be. And same with like a Saudi, like as soon as we mentioned it to him, he said, when do I come? When do you want to shoot? We're like, wait, hear it out. He doesn't care. He's like, I don't know, I think they just, also maybe we all have history together and we all want to do, the common thing is trying to make great movies, right? And nobody knows what's going to work. So I think we all are like, hey, what if this works? And we should be a part of it. I think we all have FOMO.
But how lovely is that?
Yeah.
That is bigger than every individual ego, right? Which to me is what makes your cinema so great, genuinely. I exited the theater and I posted on X, is there anything that Malayalam cinema cannot do? So is there anything?
No, that's the thing. I think that's a challenge. Right? What else can we do? What do we do next? Even when we're hearing scripts, it's how do we find something that is unique or that has not been done before or that just stands out from everything you're listening to. And I feel like any time that we've attempted stuff like that, there's always been a reception. There's always been that acceptance of, hey, at least these guys tried something new, or they tried something different. They really genuinely tried to make a good film. And that's also my belief. So I don't know how to calculate business. This is my cost. This is going to be what maybe we'll land at.
You don't do that on a piece of paper. This is what's coming back.
My CEO does, Jom does, but I'm always like, if we try something great and fail, I'm okay with that. But if we are just doing projects to keep ourselves busy and turnovers happening, I have no idea where those films land. Like they will end up because they can go both ways. So I think the encouragement mainly over here, especially Malayalam, that comes with is the fact that they will always accept you trying something sincerely, genuinely, which has not been done before. I think that there's the courage that we get from this audience that they give us there.
It is. The Kerala audience is truly next level.
And they are they're a tough audience also. You have to. I think there's so much that we learn now where I'm like, hey, we cannot spoon feed this audience. You have to keep them guessing. You have to keep them because they're smarter than you. They're smarter than.
Yep.
And we have to believe that. Unless you think they are smarter than you, because a lot of the times people approach movies being like, this is what the audience wants now. This is what is working. No, we don't know what is working. We don't know what they want. And in doing that, sometimes we think we are smarter than them. And that is when I feel like our films get affected. We are either dumbing it down or we are not putting as much effort. We're not.
You're getting lazy.
You're getting lazy. And then this is just, I feel like my sort of Bible that I go with is the fact that they are smarter, they know better, they can catch every little thing, they can guess anything. I love now, like even on Akanta, I love not filling in all the blanks. I'm like, I just feel like they'll figure it out. You don't have to explain everything. Like halfway open something. Let's see. I don't know. That stuff is now exciting.
It is exciting. Thank you, Dominic. Looking at you because no pressure, but write it quickly. Really need to see chapter 2. But really, thank you to all of you and more power to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That was a lovely interview and a lot of insights, a lot of detailing, and a lot of things tell you why this film worked, right? Like looking at hindsight, like so many choices, so many decisions that led to them of why it made sense, right? Why it works. And the universe always rewards you for doing the right things. This is the biggest example of it. And it all comes down to the intentions, the passion, what you really want. The goal is to make a great film. The goal is not to make mint money. That is just an outcome which will organically come. The passion should be about how I can make a great film. How can I get it right? How can I make characters look good? My actors, my story. That's That's always the primary goal, and that's why it works. It's just so simple. From the producer to the director to the actors to all the HODs, everyone, all the crew working on it, they have this passion. They want to give it more, and they get the benefits. And now, DQ's deciding to, I'll share the profit with the team. I want to, reward them also. It's not just me making the money. And he could just keep the profit with himself. He has invested, he paid all these people, he can keep all the money, but he's not doing that, because for him what matters is the people, because with them only you're making. It's a collaborative field. There are not many people who do that. And this video is just a proof of, what I said in my video. I'm just not making it up. These are the reasons why Malayalam cinema is so great, why they're getting it right. They are just on the right track. That's what matters. Really enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments. We'll only check out this video next, and I will see you next time.